Welcome to Rogers Center. This is the final Friday night game of the 2013 season. Joe Maddon's Tampa Bay Rays are here trying to go to the postseason once again. Joe Maddon's team has had another great season, 90-69, and you see with there they have a game over the Cleveland Indians in the first wild card spot. Texas Rangers trying to squeeze their way in, and everybody's making it tough. Tampa Bay has won 7 in a row. Cleveland's won 7 in a row. Texas, they too have been hot, but they can't gain any ground. Texas has won 4 straight as well.
Rays can clinch a playoff spot tonight with a win and a Rangers loss. They're going to stick around after this ball game if they happen to win to see the outcome of that Texas Ranger game later on tonight. Joe Maddon's team would like to clinch the home field advantage for the wild card.
Blue Jays take the field. R.A. Dickey will go to the mound to make the start here tonight. Now it's time to take a look at the starting lineups. They're brought to you by Quaker State. Real, durable oil. As we mentioned, Tampa Bay in the midst of a 7-game winning streak. That's the longest streak since they had an 8-gamer back in July. You look at the lineup. Matt Joyce is in the leadoff spot. James Loney hitting third tonight, has a 6-game hit streak. He's been a great acquisition for this ball club. Loney has really stabilized the position at first base with consistent hitting and an outstanding glove. And then down in the order, Kelly Johnson, the former Blue Jay, is 4 for 12 against tonight's starter, R.A. Dickey. A couple of doubles, a home run. He's driven in a run. Tampa Bay is red hot right now. R.A. Dickey's trying to cool them off here tonight.
And they have seen a lot of R.A. Dickey this year. Over his last 6 starts, starting to pitch a lot better with a record of 4-1, an ERA just over 3. He's looking for a strong finish to a season that's been very inconsistent for him. This is the 6th time that he is going to start against the Tampa Bay Rays this season. His batting average against in the first 5 games is just 189. The team is 3-3 versus Dickey.
Take a look at the defense behind R.A. Dickey. Oftentimes, a lot of fly balls hit, so the outfield becomes very important. Kevin Pillar, Anthony Gose, and Moises Sierra. The AAA outfield from Buffalo this summer is playing to wrap up the season. Lorian Reyes on the left side of the diamond. Ryan Goins has done a great job playing at second base. Mark DeRosa starts at first, and Josh Tolle, as he does all the time, is catching R.A. Dickey tonight.
Adam Lynn's back is still bothering him. Edwin Encarnacion season's over, so Mark DeRosa will get his 10th start over at first base tonight against Jeremy Hellickson. He hasn't faced Hellickson, so there's no numbers to go on.
Junel Escobar getting the night off. Wishing the skipper good luck for tonight's game, and R.A. Dickey is set. Matt Joyce in the leadoff spot. Goes after the first pitch. This is a very aggressive hitting ball club, and Dickey has neutralized him in the past. Matt Joyce had a big home run in the leadoff spot the other night in New York, hit his 18th home run of the season.
Some of R.A. Dickey's better games have come against the Tampa Bay Rays. You talked about that in the opening. We've seen them be very patient with Dickey, and he's thrown that knuckleball for a strike, and it looks like they're going to be very aggressive here tonight as Joyce swings at the first 2 pitches.
Well, when you look at R.A. Dickey, he's going to throw some strikes with that knuckleball, and it's always about kind of a exploration trip through the first inning just to see what kind of knuckler he has working on a given night. 3 pitches, 3 strikes from Dickey, and that's always a good sign.
Well, they probably took a look at the scouting report and watched his last couple of starts, and they've been good. He's been throwing a lot of strikes with the knuckleball. 11 punch-outs his last start.
Hit hard. Ryan Goins goes down to a knee. 1 down. Joyce is out for 3 on the ground out. So Ben Zobrist will step in, and this is always interesting to watch Zobrist when he comes to the plate. Is he going to hit right-handed? Is he going to hit left-handed? And tonight, at least to start the game, he's going to hit as a lefty.
Going to go up there left-handed. I asked him that this summer. I said, what's your game plan? Why are you hitting right-handed against R.A. Dickey? And he said, it is so hard to pick that ball up, and he throws it so hard. Just want to give him a different look and just try something different. Hit right-handed against Dickey. And it hasn't really worked for him. He's only 2 for 19 this year.
Yeah, so why not just switch back and forth?
Maybe that'll get in his head, right?
Boy, what a good player Ben Zobrist is. 272 on the season. Playing in his 154th game of the year. The Rays coaching staff was telling us how valuable Zobrist is and that he can play at second base. That's his regular position. Move over to short as he's doing tonight, or play in the outfield. This is high and deep to right. Sierra looking up. This ball is gone. Ben Zobrist with a one-out home run on a 3-0 pitch, and he ambushed that fastball.
They are in swing mode. He was ahead in the count 3-0. So what do you think you're going to get from R.A. Dickey? That little BP fastball, but he's ready for it and knocks it out of the ballpark. This is a loose team, a team that is playing some great baseball, and why not? This fastball right down the heart of the plate, and Zobrist knocks it out of the ballpark.
For Zobrist, his 12th home run of the season comes with one out in the first, and Tampa Bay has jumped out on top. Playing with a lot of confidence. We mentioned the 7-game win streak.
I love the freedom that Joe Maddon gives his teams to let them go ahead and swing away. Dickey's had a great knuckleball. And you guess he's going to throw you a fastball? Let him hit away.
We saw that earlier when the Red Sox jumped on him early in the season. Will Middlebrooks hit 2 fastballs out of the ballpark in an early April start. James Loney, been a great addition to this ball club. Loney playing in his first season in Tampa Bay. Finished up last year with the Boston Red Sox. Bouncing ball towards second. Goins comes after it, flips to first for the out. 2 down. So Dickey, you can see him shaking his head about falling behind to Zobrist, and he threw that fastball in, and Zobrist jumped all over it. You mentioned Zobrist now just 3 for 20 against R.A. Dickey.
So when you get a fastball, you better have the freedom to swing.
Evan Longoria, a Gold Glove third baseman. He too goes after the first pitch, and you're right, they got their hitting shoes on tonight.
I think they were watching the last Dickey start in Boston, and R.A. pitched a good game and had a 11 strikeout game, threw a lot of strikes with his knuckleball, and it was moving. The Red Sox in that game, if you remember, took a lot of pitches and fell behind R.A., and he finished them off. So the Rays say, we're not going to get there.
So fly ball to center. Should end the inning. Ghost is back, makes the catch. Longoria is retired, but Tampa Bay has jumped out to an early lead. Ben Zobrist connects on a 3-0 fastball. His 12th homer of the season. The Rays are up 1-0. South Asana, and you can bet this is an ongoing conversation about game plan, calling games, and how you set up hitters. And of course, with R.A. Dickey, that's not an issue, but they'll be watching Jeremy Hellickson. And here's the Blue Jays lineup tonight. Jose Reyes, top of the order. Munenori Kawasaki is the DH over his last 21 games. He's hit .340. Pair of doubles, a triple, and 4 RBIs. He had a 4-hit game in Baltimore, his first of his major league career. Ryan Goins has a 7-game hit streak, batting .321 with a pair of RBIs, and his parents are here in Toronto tonight to watch this series over the weekend. And Jeremy Hellickson takes the mound for the Rays.
Last time he pitched 7 days ago in that marathon of a game against the Baltimore Orioles, 18 innings. He actually earned the victory in that, working the final 2 and the 3rd innings. His last start, though, you have to go back to September the 17th. That was against Texas. One thing to keep an eye on, his road earned run average is at 5.5, 5.58 exactly, which is the highest in the American League.
Been a tough season for Jeremy Hellickson. His ERA is almost 2 full runs higher this year than it was a year ago. Jose Reyes, 300 hitter against Hellickson. Hellickson will throw a lot of fastballs, and he's a pretty good fastball changeup guy, and he gets ahead of Reyes with a fastball on the outside corner. And there's that off-speed pitch right on the corner. And when he first came up, he was a strike-throwing machine. He was the Rookie of the Year in 2011. He's 26 years old now, and for his career, he has a 39-30 record.
He has to be aggressive. His stuff plays where when he is throwing strikes, a lot like Mark Burley, where he's got to get the team aggressive, swinging at his stuff, so he's got to throw a lot of strikes. Fastball, curveball, changeup, outstanding.
That's a good curveball, and he strikes out Reyes to start the game. Tampa Bay, they've always played tight defense. It's much better this year. They've committed just 56 errors for the season. David DeJesus is in left field. Sam Poole and Matt Joyce in center and right. The Gold Glover, Evan Longoria at third. Ben Zobrist making his 11th start at shortstop. Kelly Johnson, a former Jay, just his 13th start at second. James Maloney, great fielder at first, and Jose Lobaton, the catcher.
And Ben Zobrist is playing shortstop again, just the 11th time this year, because Juno Escobar injured his left ankle in the game on Tuesday. Still a little bit sore, so Zobrist, jack of all trades, can play all over. 11 starts at shortstop, 26 starts in the outfield, 114 at second base.
You know, Escobar's had a terrific season for Tampa Bay. He's anxious to get that heel right. Of course, when you sprain your ankle, you never know when it's going to come around, and they're thinking about him for the playoffs more than anything. Munenori Kawasaki, 234 for the season. Inside.
Boy, the pitchers pitch him tough, don't they? I mean, it always seems like he's 2-0, 3-1 when he's hitting.
He's just very patient and selective. He knows his job is to get on base. It's a 3-0 pitch.
Probably take 2 pitches here just to make that pitcher work. Knows he's going to throw him fastballs.
He was taking, and Hellickson delivers another strike right in the same spot. Brett Lawrie on deck. Lawrie went 0 for 5 in last night's game in Baltimore. Check that, in Baltimore, that was Tuesday night. 0 for 5. There's a line drive right to the first baseman. Kawasaki's retired, 2 down.
Let's take a look at the scouting report for the young right-hander Jeremy Hellickson. Fastball, he throws it at about half the time, and they're hitting 287 versus that. The changeup and the curveball, I think, are his out pitches, but he has to be aggressive. I think he has to get the Blue Jays thinking about swinging and then get him out with the secondary stuff. In the games that we have seen Hellickson versus the Blue Jays, he gets into problems when he falls behind with his off-speed stuff. He's got to get ahead.
He has pitched well for his career against the Blue Jays. He has a 5-2 record. Of course, he gets to pitch a lot against them, both in the same division, obviously.
11 starts versus the Jays and an ERA under 3. But he'll get into trouble when he nibbles a little bit, tries to be too fine with his pitches.
It's a high fly ball to left. DeJesus backed up a few steps. Now he's coming in and he makes the catch. Quick inning for Jeremy Hellickson. Retires the side in order after 1. The Rays have a 1-0 lead.
On Sportsnet, brought to you by Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice. And by the 2014 Honda Odyssey, the world's first minivan with a built-in vacuum. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Final series of the year. Tampa Bay in town against the Blue Jays. The roof is closed. And there's been a lot of discussion about the roof opened or closed with R.A. Dickey. He prefers it closed. And it feels like he has pitched much better with the roof closed. Has a 4-2 record with the roof closed. David DeJesus was acquired mid-season from the Cubs. Washington also, he was there for a little while, and now he's with Tampa Bay. Hits this ball right to the second baseman. Goins has it, and DeJesus is retired. One down. Fans, if you want your baseball questions answered by our team of experts, email asktheexperts@sportsnet.ca and keep your eye out for the Home Hardware Ask the Experts segment later on in the game. One out. Delman Young, this is deja vu all over again. Delman Young came up with the Rays as a teenager. He is back in the fold again.
When he first came up, he was a very high draft pick. I think #1 overall by the Tampa Bay Rays. And there wasn't anything he couldn't do on the baseball field. He could run, he could throw. He hit .290 his first year in Minnesota, hit .317 his first year with Tampa Bay. Looked like he was going to be a power hitter, an RBI guy. He's had a season of 112 RBIs. It just hasn't come around.
He drives this ball deep to left field, and this ball is gone. Delman Young with his third home run. And the Rays have jumped on R.A. Dickey a couple of home runs now. Zobrist in the first and Delman Young in the second.
It has been a theme for R.A. Dickey this year, the home runs that he has given up. When you square up that knuckleball, gives a little extra push and it gets out of here in a hurry. Giving up the home run first off the fastball. This one is a tumbling knuckleball that Delman Young smokes to left field for the home run.
100th career home run for Delman Young. We saw that with Nate McLouth in Baltimore, and he and Brian Roberts went back to back. Kind of an interesting moment for Delman Young. As we mentioned, he made his big league debut with the Rays, and now he hits his 100th career home run. Also in a Rays uniform.
Has it been 10 years since he's been
How about that?
drafted #1 overall in June of 2003?
Kelly Johnson, a little flare to left field. Kevin Pillar on the run, the dive, and he makes the catch. Well, good effort by Kevin Pillar. That was a long, determined run. He stayed with it and dove and made the catch.
He has shown some athleticism. Gets a good break on this ball by Kelly Johnson and takes it right off the turf. Takes away a hit. I was asking him about the ball yesterday by Markakis. He said, I was thinking about making the catch and got too close to the ball. He said, next time if that happens, I'm going to try and catch it.
That ball skipped by him, went all the way to the wall, and Markakis ended up with an RBI double.
Just something that he learned. He said, I'm going to go after that because even if I miss it, I know that he's still going to get a double anyway.
It's going to be the same results.
Same results.
That's great. Lesson learned. 2 outs. Ball and a strike to the Rays catcher, Jose Lobaton. Lobaton has really taken to being the catcher. He's now catching his 75th game tonight. And he has gained more confidence with this season as it's unfolded. Little tapper back to the mound. Dickey waits on it. The inning is over, but for a second consecutive inning, Tampa Bay has hit a 1-out home run. Delman Young. It's 2-0 Rays.
Jays on Sportsnet. Brought to you by the 2014 Honda Odyssey, the world's first minivan with a built-in vacuum. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
We'll take 2, please, with a little mustard. Boy, that looks good.
I want barbecue sauce.
Oh, man. So Moises Sierra will lead things off. He's in the cleanup spot tonight. Sierra sprained his ankle in Baltimore, catching a fly ball in the outfield. That took place on Tuesday night. Had to come out of the game in the 6th inning. He missed Wednesday night's game. He was back in there last night. Takes the first pitch strike from Hellickson. Sierra's held his own since joining the Blue Jays, hitting .278.
Hit the ball hard today in batting practice. It's a good matchup for him. He's going to have to know that Hellickson is going to throw him a lot of changeups. He's going to get ahead with a fastball and try and get him out with a curveball and a changeup. But he looked good and beat Pete today.
0-2. Breaking ball. That's the pitch that Reyes struck out on in the first. Hellickson, like so many pitchers, I don't care who you are, we talk about this all the time. When he commands his fastball, he has good games. When he gets ahead and gets the hitters in a swing mode, that's when that changeup becomes most effective.
You and I noticed it in the first inning that he seems to be working a little quicker.
Boy, Lobaton has really come into his own as a catcher.
He's had a chance to work with Chris Nelson, who has been with him all season long, and I think that has really helped his development as a catcher. Come up with some big hits for him this year. Excuse me, Jamie Nelson.
Yeah, Jamie Nelson is the assistant hitting coach and the catching instructor, and he has really helped Lobaton behind the plate. And one of the biggest things that they have noticed is his ability to block balls in the dirt. When you do that effectively, boy, that gives a lot of confidence to the pitcher, knowing that you're going to keep it in front of home plate. Changeup. That's his bread and butter pitch, and he strikes out Sierra. 2 strikeouts so far for Hellickson. Fans, the sneak peek is brought to you by BBM. Coming soon to iPhone and Android. Register at bbm.com.
First on the scene a couple of years ago, Rookie of the Year. And then the last couple of years, he has seen that opponent's batting average go up from 210 to 244 to 272 this year. And he hasn't been able to command the changeup. I think that second time through, people will understand what Hellickson has been trying to do to him.
Anthony goes after the first pitch and grounds it to the second baseman. 2 down. Quickly, 5 in a row set down by Hellickson to start the game.
But he's like a lot of the Ray Young pitchers that have come up. They have good command of their fastball. That's the first thing that they ask their young players to do. And then develop a changeup and be able to throw it for a strike. The last couple of years, he's had problems with that. That's Jim Hickey on the right, and tomorrow's starter, Chris Archer.
What a great shot that is. Chris Archer standing right next to Jim Hickey, and they're going over this lineup hitter by hitter. Okay, here's what you can do. You have a better moving fastball than Hellickson, so you can throw that pitch to get ahead.
Look at the teaching going on. That's awesome.
Inside, Mark DeRosa catches the inside corner. It's 0-2. DeRosa starting at first base tonight. Adam Lynn dealing with back issues, so Dero gets the start. .234 on the season. Inside. Mark DeRosa has been a real pleasant addition to this ball club because first and foremost of his ability as a player, but secondly his experience, and I know he's mentored some of the younger players. Ryan Goins and Brett Laurie, 2 infielders that have worked hard with DeRosa. There's a ground ball to Longoria. Quick inning for Hellickson. 3 up, 3 down. He's set down 6 in a row. Tampa Bay with a 2-0 lead. now, and as a Blue Jays season ticket holder, you'll always get the best seats at the best price. You'll be invited to exclusive events and receive special club benefits. Call the Jays at 416-341-1234 or log on to BlueJays.com to order your 2014 season tickets. Blue Jays will open up down in St. Petersburg against the Tampa Bay Rays next season and then come home to play the New York Yankees in their home opener.
And don't you think the Yankees will have a different look next year?
You bet they will. First and foremost, no Mariano Rivera. And folks, if you haven't had a chance to see Mariano Rivera leaving the ballgame last night, it's a must-see. One of the greatest moments I've ever seen in baseball. So make sure you check it out. Mariano Rivera was pitching in Yankee Stadium for the last time, and Joe Girardi didn't go to the mound to take him out. Two of his teammates did, Andy Pettitte and Derek Jeter. Dickey gets a hand on it, hustles after it, has no play, and Sam Fuld will get a leadoff single. Dickey may have been better off to let that ball go, and the infielders would have had a better shot at it. Dickey says, "Get off of my mound."
I'm fine. Waving off. Frosty. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. That ball right back through the middle. You can see Reyes. He's shading him up the middle. He probably would have had a play on it. Hits the hand of Dickey, and now he has no chance to get forward. He runs too well.
Yeah, and I think Reyes was going to get to it, but Dickey's natural reaction is to knock it down, see if he can make a play on it. But he says, "Nope, I am all right. Don't come out here. You guys have been out here too many times this year." John Givens knew he was all right. He never budged.
He saw him wave him off, and he turned around and sat back down.
The leadoff man's aboard, Sam Fuld. He can run a bit. He's got 7 steals, and Dickey's going to check in on him.
Here it is one more time. Reaches for it, and it looked like it got the palm area, fleshy part of the palm. Stayed away from those fingers. Those are valuable fingers when you're trying to throw a knuckleball.
Yeah, generally if a player hits that baseball in the palm of his hand, he's going to be all right. When you get concerned is when you start to get it off the ends of the fingers or the thumb possibly. Matt Joyce. Joyce grounded out to the second baseman, his first timer.
You and I were talking before the game today, trying to go over all the scenarios of the wild card and what Tampa Bay has to do and what Cleveland has to do. Well, we've broken it down.
Okay.
If Tampa Bay wins 2 out of 3 in this series, they're going to host the wild card. That's basically it right there. There's no way that...
No matter what anybody else does.
Yeah. Cleveland, if they in a flatwood tie with the Rays and the Indians, if a flat-foot tie, the Rays win the tiebreaker because of the better in-season record, and they would still host the wild card.
So tonight, you look at the matchups, and Joe Madden would just as soon win the ball game and not leave anything to chance, and that would solidify their position for the postseason. It wouldn't clarify whether or not they would play at home or on the road just yet.
And a 1-game playoff, I want that game at home.
That's ground ball. Step on the bag at second. Go to first. It's a double play. Matt Joyce hit it hard, but right at the second baseman, and not much you can do about that. So that leadoff single is erased immediately.
You know, I don't know if Ryan Goins, and I'm going to ask him tomorrow, if he could have caught that ball, but it looked like he could, but he did the right thing. He took the short hop. If he catches that on the line, the base runner is going to be able to get back to first base. You can see he's going to get back. But he takes it on the short hop, and that's a double play.
And Ben Zobrist rips it into the alley. Ghost gets over, cuts it off, and makes a strong, quick throw to keep Zobrist at first. Ben Zobrist is 2 for 2 so far tonight.
And now that double play plays even bigger. Turned again by the Blue Jays. They're 143rd because Zobrist comes up and rips first pitch he sees. Cut off by Ghost, or that's extra bases. Zobrist is thinking about 2 as soon as he hits it. They're aggressive tonight, offensively.
Yeah, they've got a good feeling about the way they're swinging the bats. As we mentioned, they've won 7 straight. 2 outs. James Loney. Had a terrific season for the Rays. Loney hitting .302 for the season. Swings through the first pitch. Tampa Bay, they had a little bit of a scare, and we knew it was going to be a challenge for them when they went on the West Coast trip. They went out to Oakland and were swept by the A's. They went down to Anaheim and split the 4 games and then lost 2 of 3 to Seattle. That West Coast swing is always murder on AL East teams. High fly ball. Left fielder Kevin Pillar will have a much easier play of this one. The inning is over. The Rays strand the base runner, but they have a 2-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the 3rd. Blue Jays here in the 3rd inning, and he comes from Texas, Round Rock, Texas, not far from Austin, Texas, and his parents are here tonight, Robert and Melissa Goins, and they are up here for the final series of the season. A chance to see their son live here at Rogers Center for the first time. And Ryan's done a nice job. He's 25 years old, former 4th-round pick in his 5th season with the Blue Jays. And he has done a terrific job making the transition. He played just 32 games at second base in the minor leagues, and looks like he's played there his whole life.
Yeah, he acts like a big leaguer right here. It just looks like confidence to me. It's not cocky. It's just an air about him, the way when you talk to him, when you watch him play the game, that he's very confident in his abilities, and he can play here.
That's interesting you mentioned that, because that's what they say about the catcher behind Goins, Jose Lobaton. He's finally realized that, hey, I'm one of these guys now. And it gives a player confidence that he can compete like these major leaguers. He's one of them. Off the end of the bat. Kelly Johnson waits on it, goes to first, 1 down. That's 7 in a row set down by Jeremy Hellickson. Remember when you were coming through the minor leagues and the old coaches used to tell you, don't worry about those big leaguers. They put their pants on same as you, sure. 1 leg at a time.
Sure. And then I got up there and I was scared to death.
We used to hear that all the time. Boy, those big leaguers, yeah, they're same as you. They put their pants on the same way you do.
Did you ever believe them?
No.
Neither did I. I was like, well, that's awfully nice that he's trying to pump me up and make me feel good about myself and confident, but I'm scared.
Yeah. Then you get a chance to go see Frank Howard and Harmon Killebrew. They don't put their pants on the same as I do. I know that. 1 out. Josh Tolley had his 4th career 4-hit game in Baltimore. Tolley had a nice opportunity to play and hit back behind the plate, and he delivered a big game. One and 2. Tolley's not had a good year with the bat. Not in 179 at the start of this game. Just 1 home run. He hit 7 home runs in Buffalo before his promotion. But lately he's been swinging a hot bat.
Going the other way.
Foul tipped into the glove of the catcher. 3rd strikeout of the game for Hellickson. This is what they've been waiting on from Jeremy Hellickson, because the second half has not been kind to Hellickson.
257, that's doable pre-All-Star game, but 306, not good. The ERA almost 2 full runs, 1.5 higher in the second half than in the first half, and it's been a tough time for him. He's not making any excuses. You don't read anything about him saying, well, I need to do this or that. He's just pitching poorly. Pitched out of the bullpen the other day out of necessity, and maybe he found something.
You know, that's a good point, because oftentimes, and it was the 18-inning game, and he was kind of the last guy standing, so he went in there and threw the ball over and said, what do I have to lose? We're in the 18th inning. We've played 7 hours. I might as well enjoy myself. Kevin Villar hits it into center. Sam Full backs up. Another quick inning. First time through the order. Blue Jays go down in order. 9 straight retired. Took him just 8 pitches in the third. Take place Sunday, September 29th, and the Blue Jays wrap up this series against Tampa Bay. The game starts at 1:07 p.m. Fans can purchase game-used merchandise, autographed memorabilia, and much, much more happening at Section 127, and you must have a ticket to the game in order to attend the garage sale. The proceeds go to the Jays Care Foundation. Call the Jays at 416-341-1234. Log on to BlueJays.com to order your tickets to the garage sale and stop by most Founders Plus locations. Evan Longoria flied out to center his first time up. Longoria is the heart and soul of this ball club, and there are many leaders on this team, but Longoria is the guy that gets in the third spot, fourth spot, and middle of the order guy that drives in and runs. He's a Gold Glover. He's signed forever. He's got a contract that takes him into the 2020s. And he likes it there, obviously, or else he wouldn't have signed those contracts. But, boy, you've got to admire him for coming in at the time when the Rays were turning their fortunes around, and he's been a big part of it.
And putting his money where his mouth is by signing that long-term contract. He played, what, something like 6 weeks before he signed a long-term contract? Remember that, his first year? And
I want to think he actually signed the contract before he got promoted. They signed him to a long-term deal before he actually made it to the big leagues, but they knew what they had in Evan Longoria. Longoria, terrific player, obviously, but a very good leader, big part of this ball club, and he was signed as a first-round pick, third pick overall out of Long Beach State. Full count. Pulled on the ground. Reyes backhand throws across his body right on the money. 1 down. Well, when you think about the Tampa Bay Rays lately, all you think about is winning, because that's what they do. You look back at the 2010 season, 96 wins, 91, 90, 90 again this year. And if you're going to contend, you got to win 90 games. That's the fact. You live in a division, you're going to have to win 90.
That's where it starts right there. And since 1998, only the Yankees and the Oakland A's have a longer consecutive 90-win seasons than the Tampa Bay Rays. And remember 2008, they were in the World Series. Had a great season that year. Not so good in 2009, but they got right back on it once again, 4 in a row.
Joe Maddon has been a 2-time manager of the year in 2008, that World Series year you were mentioning, and in 2011. This is his 8th season at the helm of the Rays.
They won 97 games in 2008. They won 90 just once in their first 12 seasons. Then this guy comes along right here, and all of a sudden they're a different organization.
Before Maddon arrived, the Rays record was .518 and .775. A .400 winning percentage for the history of the franchise. And now all you think about with them is winning. Joe Maddon is signed through 2015, so he's going to be around for a while. And he has put his stamp on this team by letting the players be individuals. He doesn't have a whole lot of rules, but he demands they're ready to play baseball. Then he really doesn't care how you get ready. But when you step on the field, you better be ready to play the way he wants you to play.
All he cares about is the result, what you're doing. I don't care how you get there. If you want to wear your hat sideways, or if you want to come to the ballpark and wear white shoes, or whatever it is, I don't care. You just help me win a ball game that day.
David DeJesus strikes out. He's 0 for 2. It's the first strikeout for R.A. Dickey tonight. So that'll bring Delman Young to the plate. Delman Young homered in the second. There's a high fly ball down the left side, and it's probably going to reach the seats, and does, as Kevin Pillar was right there at the edge of the seats.
That was the slow knuckleball right there from Dickey, something that he started to throw a little bit more frequency.
R.A. Dickey's given up 2 home runs tonight, and he has allowed the most home runs in his home ballpark, ahead of Chris Tillman, who has given up 22 at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. As far as the overall home run ranks, he is now just 1 behind A.J. Griffin of the Oakland Athletics, who's given up 36 home runs. The interesting thing about Dickey is he pitches in a tough pitcher's ballpark. A.J. Griffin pitches in a good pitcher's ballpark, and he is leading the league in home runs allowed. Dickey strikes out Delman Young. He has a bounce back inning in the 4th. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. Tampa Bay with a 2-0 lead. Comfort Zone, our guest of TD. Welcome to the ballpark, and I hope you're having a great time here on Friday night. While over in the Jays Care Community Clubhouse are Jays Care Community Crew workers. Congratulations on another fine season, and thanks for all your efforts helping out the Jays Care Foundation. Another great year for the charity work for the Jay's Care Foundation, we want to thank you all for all your great efforts. We move to the bottom of the 4th inning. Tampa Bay, 2 runs on 4 hits, a couple of home runs. Ben Zobrist and Delman Young. Jeremy Hellickson retired 9 straight to start this game. Say Reyes was a strikeout victim his first time up. He struck out on a good curveball. There's the first hit off of Jeremy Hellickson. That fastball up and out over the plate. He jumped all over it. Munenori Kawasaki might not be the most talented on this ball club, but he certainly gives you the best effort.
Well, it doesn't take talent to run as hard as you can. This is in the first inning, a pop-up, and he's going to try and score from first base. He treats it like it's a double in the gap. And when the ball is dropped by the left fielder, Friday, he can score the first run of the game for the Blue Jays. Again, it doesn't take any talent to hustle like that.
Now, that was a routine fly ball to left, and most ball players will just jog around thinking it's going to be the 3rd out of the inning, not Kawasaki. And he bunts it up the third baseline. It's a beauty. Longoria quickly makes the play, and that's how you win Gold Gloves, folks. That looked like a base hit all the way. Longoria was in guarding against the bunt, but it was a perfect bunt by Kawasaki and a perfect play by Longoria.
Wow, he's got quick feet, soft hands, and very quick hands. Also, when that ball, exactly like you said, when it got down on the bunt, he's bunting for a base hit. I said this is first and second, nobody out. But here comes Longoria, gloves it, and throws it accurately into the inside part of the base. That's foot speed and quick hands.
And confidence. He knew he had to unload quickly. Kawasaki credited with a sacrifice bunt. Reyes is in scoring position for Brett Lawrie. Lawrie takes a first pitch strike. Lawrie flied out to left field in his first at bat.
I think he's finding how hard it is to hit third in the lineup of a major league team. They show you the respect. You're going to have guys on base. They're going to throw you breaking balls.
Bounce to third. Different play for Longoria. Can't handle this one. He got caught in between. He didn't know whether to come after it or lay back. He laid back, and that ball ate him up, hit him right in the stomach, and he couldn't come up with it.
Yeah, if he comes up with it cleanly, he still might not throw Brett Lawrie out, but it's an in-between hop. Tries to keep it in front of him, but really no chance. Even if he comes up with it again, he's not going to throw him because he's so deep. Yeah, that's the perils of playing third base.
Boy, that was a great illustration of indecision. He saw it off the bat, thought he would come and get it, and then realized it was going to eat him up, trying to back up. He's charged with his 10th error of the season. Moises Sierra. Goes after the first pitch. That's a base hit to right. Reyes is going to score. Lawrie's around second. He's headed to third. Sierra picks up the RBI, and they've cut the lead in half.
You know, James Loney, the first baseman, might have been blocked off on that ball. With Brett Lawrie at first base, he plays behind him. The ball is hit sharply by Sierra to the right side off his bat. And Loney, a great fielding first baseman. You can see as Lawrie comes in, shielded just a little bit out of his grasp. Sierra scores and knocks in the first run.
Anthony Gose with Sierra at first, Lawrie at third. A run in. Reyes got it started with a leadoff single. He scores from second on the base hit. Gose shows bunt. Anthony Gose hit it sharply to the second baseman his first time up, grounded out. 250 for the season. Gose was recalled from AAA Buffalo on August 16th. Did not have a real strong offensive season in Buffalo. Fly ball into center. This ball is down in front of Sam Fuld. Here's the throw to the plate, and it is not in time. Anthony Gose has tied it up. A little Texas leaguer in front of Sam Fuld. Lowry comes in to score, and it's a 2-2 game.
Very interesting play right there, because Brett Lowry, the runner at third base, got caught in between, and it's a tough play. That little Texas leaguer out into the outfield. Do you go halfway or do you tag up? Now, Fuld, if he has an active throw, you can see Lowry in between, not really sure. If he has a good throw here, he's got him at the plate. But it's a tough play. He does everything he can to knock it down, keep it in front of him, come up, throw it all in one motion, but the ball sails on him.
That's really an interesting play on several different levels. Gose picks up the RBI. That's his 11th. Sierra's at second now. Still just one out. Mark DeRosa, the batter. Let me ask you this. Lowry was thinking about tagging should there be a catch, and the only way that Fuld was going to catch it was to dive. It was probably a good thought by Lowry to stay close to the bag. Yep. It looked like he was going to dive and had a chance to catch it.
And then he could have walked to him and he would have been fine. But it's that play where you're not real sure who is going to catch it. You're at third base, less than 2 outs. The dump base hit, I call it, into the outfield. Do you go halfway or do you tag up?
DeRosa swings at that changeup.
Let's take a look at the ISO of Brett Lowry. You say, okay, well, I'm not sure. Should I go halfway or should I tag up? And he does the right thing by tagging up, I think.
Yeah, I think that is exactly what he should have done. If he dives and catches it, he can tag and score easily.
Yeah. If he's halfway and he dives and catches it, there's no way he's going to score.
DeRosa chases that fastball upstairs. And we saw that if it falls in front of him, he's going to score anyway. So it's a tie game. Blue Jays didn't have a hit till this inning. 9 up, 9 down, retired by Hellickson. And then Reyes led it off with a single. Kawasaki with a sac bunt. Lowry reached on the air by Longoria. And then RBI singles by Sierra and Gose. Bounced in the dirt. There's another example of Lobitone's improvement. Digging those balls out of the dirt. This is a pitching-oriented team, Tampa Bay. And as a catcher, you've got to support their pitchers in every aspect of the game.
Yeah, any way you can. If it's game calling, blocking balls in the dirt, throwing guys out, catch first. And Lobitone's come up with some big hits now for him.
What a good changeup. 80 miles an hour, another strikeout for Hellickson. 2 down, 2 on. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Now that's interesting, and you could bet the Orioles, they've had the wind taken out of their sail. They went through a rough stretch, and now they've fallen behind 8-0. Scott Feldman, the starter in that game for Baltimore against Clay Buchholz, who's trying to finish up on a real high note after coming off the DL.
Trying to go 12-1 on the season.
Buchholz, 2 innings, 2 hits, no runs. He's had a strikeout. Boston, of course, into the postseason. What a bounce back they have had from last year to this year. It is on now if you want to check it out on Sportsnet 1. Get a look at the Red Sox and the Orioles. Scott Feldman was a pretty nice acquisition, but the offense just fell off for the Orioles, and they fell right out of the race.
They got gassed. They were gassed when we were in there. We just came from Boston, and everybody just looked a little bit slower. The bat seemed a little bit slower.
Let me ask you this then. We were talking and praising the Orioles for having 7 players that played 140 games. Did they play too much?
Maybe they did. Maybe they would have had better use of their bench. But nobody got hurt. Everybody played every day, it seemed like, for Boston. Nobody got hurt and went on a 2-week DL, which is like a vacation, to rest your body and to recuperate. And Buck Showalter really pushed him hard this year.
Ryan Goins rips it up the middle. Sierra's being waved around third, and Sam Fuld misses it. Here comes Gose. He's going to score. Goins is around third, and they're waving him home. And here's the relay to the plate. Zobrist to Lobaton, and Goins is out. And Mom and Dad are here to watch it all. Ryan Goins has given the Blue Jays the lead. They break out against Jeremy Hellickson in the fourth. Goins picks up the RBI. The air is charged to Sam Fuld. The first run comes in from second on the base hit. That's Sierra. But once Fuld misses it, Ghost is going to come around from first and score. Fuld makes the air in center. And Ryan Goins gets waved around third. And right about here, he's running out of gas. And Zobrist made a good throw to the catcher, Lobaton. And you can see he finishes up in a heap. And Mom and Dad, Robert and Melissa, excited to watch their son circle the bases, only get thrown out. And Reyes is saying, "Atta baby, go for it, man. I was rooting for you the whole time."
He's sending you. You got to make it. You know, that's awesome. Sam Fuld, in his haste to try and get the ball back in, was not going to get Sierra. That's his first error of the season. And you were talking about Tampa Bay being a very good fielding team. 2 errors cost him that inning.
There by the Gold Glover at third, Evan Longoria allowed Laurie to reach. He would score the second run of the inning. Sierra had an RBI single. Ghost had an RBI single, and he scored from first base on the single in the air. Kelly Johnson, the former Blue Jay. And it's a team effort to get Ryan ready to go back to play defense. Rogers and Kawasaki helping him out, helping him catch his breath.
Get the oxygen.
That is a long run all the way around the bases, and by the time you get to third, you're almost saying, "Don't send me. Don't send me. I can't make it." But what Ryan did, and so many base runners do, he looked back to see the throw. 2-2 to Kelly Johnson. Johnson was retired on a nice diving catch by the left fielder Kevin Pillar back in the second. Blue Jays have a 4-2 lead. Kelly Johnson strokes it to center. Ghost is there. That ball was sinking. May have been a knuckleball out to the outfield.
He hit it just like he threw it. That ball looked like it was knuckling out the center.
Another hard-hit ball right to a defender, and Derek Shelton, the Tampa Bay Rays hitting coach, has an interesting theory about that. They actually track the speed off the bat of their hitters, which is an interesting concept. I'd really not paid much attention to it, but he said, you can find it anywhere. But his club tracks it, and what they do with it is they talk to the hitters about how consistently they're hitting the ball. So don't worry so much about an 0 for 4. if you're having good at-bats, the hits are going to even out.
Well, it also has something to do with, this ball's lifted to center field, defenses that are starting to overshift. Okay, so you have Edwin Encarnacion at the plate. Tampa Bay shifts 3 guys on the left side of the infield, and he hits 3 bullets that are caught where other, 10, 15 years ago, with all the holes in the infield, those would have been base hits. And Edwin ends up going 0 for 4. And you say, he had a bad day. No, he didn't. He hit the ball hard. Just the defenses are now starting to move around and take away those hits.
I think it's really interesting, and Derek really spoke to that exactly. And Tampa Bay's always been very aggressive in how they set their defense up, and it's spreading around both leagues now. It was the oddity of the era when Lou Boudreau played Ted Williams in that dramatic shift at Fenway Park, and that's where it all started. And Williams never wanted to give in to the shift. He didn't care about hits. He was just going to hit it hard. This is popped up behind third. Laurie does a nice job. Good inning for R.A. Dickey. Some good defense behind him. The Rays go quietly in the 5th. University football action. Queens takes on Western. 1 p.m. Eastern on Sportsnet 360. Check it out. Great football Saturday afternoon. A crowd on hand for the final Friday night. This is Fan Appreciation Weekend here at Rogers Center. And the Blue Jays will wrap up their season, albeit a disappointing one. 8 regulars that started the season on the 25-man roster will finish this season on the DL.
That's not good.
Nope.
That's happened now the last couple of years for the Blue Jays.
What it does is it puts so much doubt into your mind. What are you going to have next year? Who's going to be 100% healthy? How healthy are they going to be? And whether or not they can play a full season. Josh Tolley struck out his first time up. Blue Jays lead at 4-2. Hits are even at 4 apiece. Tolley on the ground. Kelly Johnson to his right takes his time. 1 down. So it is going to be a busy offseason for the Blue Jays, and disappointing after the offseason they had a year ago when expectations were so high. But as we speak, the Blue Jays have 72 wins. They are 24 games behind the Boston Red Sox in wins. You got to figure out a way how to close ground on the front runners, and you're 10 games behind the Yankees, and they're in 4th place. First time the Yankees will finish in 4th place since 1992. And quite a run.
That was a long time ago. 21 years.
For both clubs. It was another era for sure. The Blue Jays were winning the first of 2 World Series championships, and the Yankees were just getting sorted out.
We just drafted some guy named Derek Jeter that year also.
Yeah, he'll never pan out. He's from Michigan. Too cold. Derek Jeter, Andy Pettitte, Bernie Williams, Jorge Posada, and Mariano Rivera. What they called the core four was actually five. And they all had marvelous careers with the Yankees. Rivera and Pettitte, they're done. They will be finished after this season. Derek Jeter continues to say he's playing next year, but boy, he had a tough season. What did he play, 17 games?
Yeah, and he'll be 40 years old.
Yeah.
Starting shortstop, that's very rare.
2-1 to Kevin Pillar on the corner.
So when we talk about changes, that's going to be one organization where you're going to see a lot of changes. And Robbie Cano is a free agent. And I heard yesterday he wants what, $300 million?
That's dropping the bucket.
That's nothing. Yankees want to get under 189.
They're not going to do it like that. A 10-year contract for $305 million. That's ridiculous. I mean, you can be the best player in the world, but Cano's going to be 30 years old next year.
Yeah, $30 million a year.
You're going to pay him, the last 7 years of that contract. I mean, you've got two great examples of it right now, A-Rod and Albert Pujols.
Yep.
You don't need any more proof than that.
That's why I don't think the Yankees are going to go there.
I don't either.
They've already got one on their payroll.
Fouled off the foot of Kevin Pillar. Yeah, I mean, Robinson Cano's a great player, but is he going to be this player for
10 years? No.
5 years. I'll give you 5 years. Is he going to be this good player for 5 years?
No. You're lucky if you get 5 years, but what about the other 5?
Yeah. I think free agency is a big waste of time unless you are a player or two away from a perfect team. Good fastball, and Pillar strikes out.
The 2014 Honda Odyssey, the world's first minivan with a built-in vacuum. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Friday night at Rogers Center. Tampa Bay in town, wrapping up the 2013 season.
You were talking about next year, and the Blue Jays have to win within their division. And I think the one thing that the Blue Jays cannot do is say, well, the Yankees aren't going to be very good next year, or they're going to be on a down cycle, and Tampa can't do this again. I think you have to respect all of these teams and say they're going to be good every single year. Now, how do I beat them?
The only thing that's been constant in the last 5 years is the way the Jays have played. I mean, the other teams, they're always right there in it. Boston had the hiccup, and they fixed it quickly, but they got a pedigree. Their core players had a pedigree, and that's why they were able to turn it around.
Baltimore is going to be good, and they're going to be good for a while. Tampa's always good. They always have players in the pipeline and ready to come up. Boston, if they sweep Baltimore this weekend, will be 30 games better than they were last year.
Yeah. And, a lot of people are going to say, well, John Farrell really turned them around. I have all the respect in the world for John Farrell, but the players turned it around. You look at the players they brought in, the Napolis and Gomes, Stephen Drew, and Shane Victorino, Pedroia. David Ortiz had another good year.
They had the base already.
They had the base already. They had 3 pitchers in place. Lackey, Lester, and Buchholz. What they've done is they've lost 2 closers. And they've been able to fill the void with Koji Uehara. 3-2, 2 outs, and Reyes will take ball 4. A 2-out walk here in the bottom of the 5th. It's the first walk that Hellickson has issued tonight. But I think the biggest thing an organization has to do is be honest with themselves. Where are our needs and where are our problems? And are we as good as we think we are? And you look at the numbers and they jump off at the page at you. No. Got to get better.
Yeah.
Munenori Kawasaki has gone 0 for 1 with a sacrifice bunt. Jumps on the first pitch. He had that in his mind when he stepped in the box after the walk to Reyes. He thought he was going to get a first pitch fastball and did.
Take. His first time up. 10 pitch at bat for Kawasaki. Then he had I think a 6 or a 7 pitch at bat his next time up. Trying to jump all over that first fastball that he saw from Hellickson. Trying to knock one out of here. Would have been his second home run of the year.
0-1, 2 outs. Just off the plate outside. Munenori Kawasaki hit one home run. Came against the Orioles. He did most of his damage against the Orioles. He hit that home run against Tommy Hunter. Hard throwing right-hander. In the dirt. Boy, Lobaton is moving around well.
Yeah, and smothering everything. That ball has no chance to get by him. Watch how quickly he moves over to his right. Backhands that one again. Jamie Nelson here credited with really taking him to the next level as a catcher.
Two and one to Kawasaki. Way inside. Now 3-1.
They don't throw to him. He finds his way into these 3-1 counts constantly. And now you can start the runner, I think, at first base. Give him a little bit of a head start. Reyes feeling confident that Kawasaki is going to make contact on this 3-1 pitch.
3-1, 2 outs. Reyes not running, and there's a strike. It's full. So now Reyes will be running. 3-2, 2 outs. And Loney is going to back up behind the runner. Tampa Bay trails 4-2. There goes Reyes. Ball 4 outside. Back-to-back 2-out walks. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. A.J. Burnett is on the mound for the Pirates. He has gone 3 innings, 2 hits, no runs so far. Walked the batter and struck out 3. And boy, that's going to be an interesting series all weekend long.
The winner of that series gets to host the playoff game, the wild card playoff game. Whoever takes 2 out of 3 or better.
Bud Selig got exactly what he wanted with this extra wild card slot. Great races right down to the wire. Brent Laurie reached on an error and scored in the 4th.
Boy, Hellickson, who was masterful through the first 3 innings, 9 up, 9 down. Payton getting himself some strikeouts, he's lost it.
4 runs in the bottom of the 4th. On 4 hits and an error. Wesley Wright, the left-hander. One of 5 left-handers they have in their bullpen. They've got a full complement of relievers just like the Blue Jays. There's a looper. That's going to drop. Reyes is around third. He's going to score. Kawasaki goes first to third. DeJesus missed it. And Kawasaki had thoughts of scoring. Boy, Tampa Bay has kicked it around in the outfield a little bit. That play didn't have any consequence. Kawasaki was trying to score. Laurie picks up the RBI. And here comes the pitching coach, Jim Hickey, out to the mound.
You know, we've said this before about teams that come into this ballpark playing on this surface. It's a tough surface. You're not going to get a true bounce ever. And DeJesus is a new player for this league. He spent some time with the Cubs. He almost overruns this ball, picks his head up and goes off his glove, but luckily there's Sam Fold, the center fielder, right behind him to back it up, or Kawasaki scores.
The Rays were just in New York playing in Yankee Stadium, and look at David Price. He's going to play the role of the bullpen coach. Hey, is he ready down there? Jim Hickey went to the mound, so Joe Madden said, hey, check on the status of Wesley Wright. And now they've gotten somebody else to throw with him as well. David Price can do it all.
Yeah, look at him. Well, I think you have to take advantage of the problems that Hellickson's had in the last 2 innings. Gave up the 4 runs last inning, got the first 2 outs here, and then walked the next 2 batters.
Moises Sierra had a first pitch RBI single his last time up. "5-2 Blue Jays. Hellickson breezed through the first 3 innings, and then the wheels fell off in the 4th. Couple of errors contributing to the 4 runs. And now back-to-back 2-out walks have cost him.
Yeah, when you've got that hammer, you got to use it right here. You've got a couple of runners on. It's going to try and be real fine to Sierra.
Sierra pulls it foul. Jeremy Hellickson has had a rough stretch lately, and I think that's why they have dropped him from the rotation for a while, and he's making his start here tonight after pitching in relief, and he hasn't started since the 12th of September.
Yeah, in his last 9, not very good. This is why he hasn't started since then. 1-6 with an ERA approaching 8, opponent's batting average of .338 with a very high whip. That first few innings, 9 up, 9 down attack. Here's the fastball. Let me get it over, and I'll get you out with my off-speed pitch. And then 4th inning, 5th inning, it's back to nibbling and trying to make that perfect pitch, which is impossible sometimes.
And he slowed the game down dramatically. In the first 3 innings, he was working much quicker than normal. 1-1. Just on the inside corner. Sierra didn't think so. Moises Sierra picked up the RBI, his 12th of the season last time up. Laurie is at first with the RBI single. Kawasaki is at third. Another check on Laurie. One and two. Bounce toward third. Longoria can't find the handle. Goes wide of third. Kawasaki's in to score. Laurie goes to third. It's a base hit for Sierra. Another RBI. It'll be an air charge to Longoria, his 2nd of the game in Tampa Bay. Shaky in the field tonight.
Yeah, they've been great all season long. Only the Baltimore Orioles have made fewer errors. But right now, not real good. 3 errors contributing to a 6-2 lead, and that's going to be it for Jeremy Hellickson.
Jeremy Hellickson had a quick start to the ballgame. 9 up, 9 down, then 4 in the 4th. 2 more here in the 5th, and he is out of the ballgame. Wesley Wright into the game when we come back. pitcher into the ballgame is Wesley Wright with Houston and Tampa Bay. This will be his 70th appearance of the season.
You know, bad record, good ERA, 3.76. His fastball, about 88 to 92 with some sneaky late life. It can ride in on you. His best pitch might be his curveball. He can use that for strikeouts, averaging almost a strikeout an inning, a sinker and a slider also in his repertoire. An arm that was added late by Tampa Bay.
Anthony Gose swings right through the first pitch. Tampa Bay has committed 3 errors tonight. It's the first 3-error game of the season. They'd committed 2 errors just 7 times all season long, and tonight they've made 3. Evan Longoria, a pair of errors at third. The appeal down to the third base umpire, Jeff Kellogg, and he said that Ghost checked. It's a ball and a strike. Blue Jays scored 4 in the 4th. A couple of errors that inning, and another error here in this inning has led to a run. 6-2 Jays. Way outside.
Nice play by Lobaton to save yet another run. And when you've got them down, the Tampa Bay Rays, boy, you got to really stick it to them. They are one of the better teams, I think, in baseball that can come back on you, and I don't care what the score is or what. When you have them down, you got to keep them down.
Blue Jays have had trouble protecting leads against Tampa Bay. For the season, Tampa Bay has the edge again, and it's been a long run. Tampa Bay has owned the season series going back to 2007.
6 straight years they have won the season series.
Tampa Bay leads this season series 10-6. Breaking ball catches the inside corner, right ends the inning. Blue Jays scored 2 more. They've taken a 6-2 lead, and here comes the Home Hardware cleanup crew. Brought to you by Natura, Home Hardware's exclusive line of safe, environmentally friendly cleaning products. It's the NHL season preview. Breakdowns and predictions on every team. Subscribe now at sportsnet.ca/magazine. From the verge of the NHL season starting, this is the last weekend of the preseason games, and everybody getting wrapped up and anxious for the NHL season to begin. And this year, of course, it's going to be a full schedule of NHL games.
Tuesday, right? Starts on Tuesday?
I believe so. R.A. Dickey pitching in the 6th with a 4-run lead. Matt Joyce has gone 0 for 2. He is grounded out and hit into a double play. There's a line drive to right. Sierra almost in his tracks, makes the catch. One down.
The 2014 Honda Odyssey, the world's first minivan with a built-in vacuum. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Almost the end of September, and it's hard to imagine that summer has gone so quickly. And it's going to be another busy offseason for the Blue Jays, trying to figure out how to get things turned around. How to get competitive in this tough AL East division. Ben Zobrist, he has found the proper side of the plate tonight. He has gone back and forth between hitting as a right-hander and as a left-hander against R.A. Dickey. He's 2 for 2 tonight. Hits this one off the end of the bat. This is trouble. Laurie jump toss in the dirt at first and not in time. Zobrist is 3 for 3. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Well, obviously a big game for Cleveland, trying to extend their win streak to 8 straight. The Rangers are playing at home tonight, and that's an interesting pitching matchup. C.J. Wilson, the former Ranger, goes up against Alexi Ogando. And the Rangers are on the outside looking in as we speak.
I don't think Cleveland's going to lose
anymore.
Playing Minnesota.
Yeah.
It's just, boy, they got so much to play for, and they're just going to grind just a little bit more. So I think if you're the Rangers or Tampa Bay, you just have to assume they're not going to lose. So you have to take care of business.
Yeah, I think you're right. Cleveland has so much momentum. They score 4 in the first. This ball is driven to left. Pilar is back. Loney's retired. Zobrist hustles back to first. But you're right, and Cleveland came out smoking tonight, 4 runs in the first. Boy, what a year Yan Gomes has had. He's taken over as the everyday catcher. Picks up the RBI in his first at bat. He's hitting .298 for the season. He's got 37 RBIs. And he has pushed Carlos Santana to a DH first base role.
Yeah, you can talk about the offense and everything he's done with the bat for Cleveland. His biggest contribution has been behind the plate.
Yeah, he's a rock solid catcher and has a strong arm. And he's been a big part of the Indians' ability to pitch. Santana is more of an offensive player. And when they saw Gomes and his defense, they liked what they saw. Evan Longoria with the ball on the strike. Gomes had thoughts of playing in the WBC for Brazil. He was involved in Brazil's qualifying for the tournament when he played for them in the fall last year. But he ran it by the manager, Terry Francona. And, of course, Gomes was in his first year in Cleveland. And Terry said, you know what? If I were you, I wouldn't go. I'd stay here and get to know your pitching staff. And it paid off for him.
Yeah, he said you can go. I'm not saying you don't. You can't go. Go if you want to.
It's fouled outside of there.
But I'm going to catch you every other day at spring training and see what I have here. He stayed. It was a good decision.
Oh. And he's got a chance to go to the playoffs. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We're in the 6th. Tampa Bay in trouble. They're trailing 6-2. Inside. Longoria's 0 for 2 tonight. He is 4 for 19 against R.A. Dickey. Dickey has given up a pair of solo home runs, but that's the only damage he's allowed tonight. So it's a full count. De Rosa plays behind the runner Zobrist at first. 2 outs. Strike 3 called. Longoria caught looking at the knuckler. 3 strikeouts for Dickey. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. The Jays have a 6-2 lead. He's talking with his catcher, Josh Tolley, and they've done a nice job so far. The only dent in an otherwise outstanding line is the 2 home runs. He has 3 strikeouts, and that strikeout of Evan Longoria. A bit of a fist pump to end the top half of the 6th. Look at the defense for Tampa Bay. 3 errors in the ball game. First time they've committed 3 errors this season. Mark DeRosa starting at first base. DeRosa has grounded out and struck out facing Wesley Wright, the left-hander.
Boy, they won't throw him a fastball. Hellickson got him with a changeup. Grounded out on a changeup, and Wesley Wright throws him a changeup.
Off the plate. Not going to throw that fastball over the plate. Wesley Wright picked up mid-season to solidify the left side of the bullpen. They've had some good left-handers. Alex Torres, Cesar Ramos, and of course Jake McGee, and now they've added Wesley Wright. There's a good breaking ball. Breaking ball in the dirt. DeRosa strikes out. That's the first out of the bottom of the 6th. Wesley Wright. 2 strikeouts since entering the ball game.
Originally part of the Dodgers organization. He was a Rule 5 draft pick by Houston. And Tampa Bay picked him up from the Astros in that trade you were talking about. 4 lefties now in the bullpen. It's a pretty good balance for Joe Maddon's team.
1 out. Ryan Goins had an RBI single his last time up. That was in the 4th. He singled into center field with Moises Sierra at second, and Sam Fold, in his haste to pick up the ball to make a throw to the plate, overran it. Went all the way to the center field wall. Goins circled the bases and was thrown out at the plate. 2 runs scored on the play. Goins credited with an RBI when the first run scored. The second one scored on the air.
Gaining valuable experience here in the month of September, getting a chance to play, facing teams that are going to go to the playoffs or teams that are just on the outside looking in.
Stays on that breaking ball and fouls it into the seats. That's an interesting statement, and I think it's a valid one, that when you get a chance to play, you don't play against the best. Give yourself a barometer of just exactly where you stand and what you need to do to work on in the offseason, what the pitching is like. And both he and Moises Sierra and Anthony Ghost, for that matter, have had a lot of at-bats.
Yeah, against teams that are trying to get into the playoffs, so you're seeing their best. September has a way of fooling a lot of people about young players when they come up. Teams that are out of it, they're facing their minor leaguers. Other than March, I think it's the second month in a baseball season that can fool people who are trying to project young players.
Strike 3 call. Wesley Wright has struck out all 3 batters he's faced since coming into the ball game. Wesley Wright is on in relief of Jeremy Hellickson, the starter for Tampa Bay. Hellickson was perfect through 3 innings and then ran into a roadblock in the 4th. He goes 4 2/3, allows 6 hits, 3 runs, 3 unearned runs because of 3 Rays errors, and he is out of the ball game before he can complete 5 innings. Josh Tolley 0 for 2. But I think it is a big month of quicksand if you get caught up in evaluating September numbers if you're out of a pennant race. Tolley stays on that breaking ball and gets his first hit of the night. Josh Tolley did a nice job as Wesley Wright tried to sneak that breaking ball by him. Longoria dove to his left, but it was past him in the left field.
Got 4 the other night. Stayed on that breaking ball. Watch the big bend from Wright, and now Tolley stays on it, keeps the head down, keeps the shoulder in just enough, and just punches the ball by Longoria out in the left field. Got to be able to hit the ball all over the place.
So Wesley Wright gets a couple of strikeouts, gives up a 2-out hit. The right-hander Brendan Gomes comes in to face Kevin Pillar when we come back. Spiced rum Bacardi is a proud partner of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Kevin Pillar is a good athlete. He's going to show off that athleticism right here with our smooth move of the night. Dives to take a hit away. Kelly Johnson, the smooth move, brought to you by Kevin Pillar in left field tonight.
Kevin Pillar made an outfield assist in his first game here at Rogers Center. He threw out Dustin Pedroia at the plate in the first inning to cut down a run. New pitcher into the ballgame is Brendan Gomes, making just his 25th appearance of the season. Gomes missed 88 games this season on the disabled list with a right lat strain, and he is a fresh arm that they have added to their bullpen.
And you'll get a lot of strikeouts, 26 strikeouts, just 6 base on balls. He splits his fastball at times, a little breaking ball, throws a lot of strikes. Home run average is high, but I'm sure that has to do with the amount of innings that he has thrown this year.
Brendan Gomes, parts of the last 3 seasons with the Rays, breaking ball and Pillar chases. Gomes has appeared in 79 games, now 80 games for the Rays over those 3 seasons. Most innings he pitched was back in 2011. He appeared in 40 games, pitched 37 innings. But when he is right, he's pretty tough. He's got a tough delivery, especially on right-handed hitters.
I remember when he came in against the Blue Jays a few years ago and struck out the side, throwing pitches like that. Sharp breaking ball with a tight spin and late break, a little split, fastball for a changeup. That's what you want. Coming out of the bullpen, you better be able to throw strikes.
Gomes is making his first appearance of the season against the Jays. 3 breaking balls, and he strikes out Pillar. That ends the inning. Blue Jays strike out all 3 times this inning. They strand a single. The Blue Jays and Rays wrap up the season. The game time is 1:07 p.m. The first 20,000 fans into Rogers Center will receive a Blue Jays toque. Call the Jays directly at 416-341-1234. You can always get your tickets by logging online at BlueJays.com or stop by most Rogers Plus locations and pick up your tickets. Blue Jays Toque Day, September 29th, this Sunday. David DeJesus has gone 0 for 2.
Isn't it funny how this game started and where it is right now? R.A. Dickey, first inning, home run. Second inning, home run. Didn't look like he was going to be around for a while. He gave up 4 hits in the first 3 innings. He's found it now. On the flip side, Hellickson was outstanding the first 3 innings. Looked like he was going to cruise. And he got knocked out quickly.
Yeah, there's an entirely different tension level in the two dugouts. Tampa Bay, they know what's at stake. Look at the long faces in that dugout. Joe Madden is congratulating Gomes for a job well done. Appears to be out of the ball game, but these guys are going to the postseason. They hope. Blue Jays, their season was long over, so their tension level is a lot different. Ground ball. Ryan Gomes throws the first to Jesus is over 3.
Well, he was also already struggled the first 2-3 innings when he gave up a couple of runs, and the double play really helped him out. I say, unless your arm falls off or you can't get up off the bench, you got to empty the tank tonight, don't you? Your last starts.
Absolutely. You got all winter to rest. Just try to put a punctuation mark on your season. Ground ball. Delman Young. Gloved by Reyes, off balance throw. Man, oh man, can he make that play? Going totally away from his position, throwing across his body, and he has that perfect windage to drop it right in the glove of the first baseman. Yeah. That's a tough play.
Accurate. He is so accurate with that sidearm throw. He's going to go hard to his left, up the middle. He was thinking about 360, but then just flips it from the side. Who does that remind you of back in the 80s? Who used to play shortstop here?
Guy named Tony?
That's it right there. Accurately across the diamond from the sidearm slot.
That takes tremendous arm strength to be able to throw across your body like that. DeRosa was there to take the stretch and complete the play. Terrific play by Reyes. Well, I tell you what, I can't wait to see him play a full season healthy.
Yeah.
He'll do some things that'll open your eyes, that's for sure. Kelly Johnson batting with 2 outs.
You know what we haven't seen from him this year? A triple.
There's Tony Fernandez, as we mentioned, a great shortstop that was such a big part of this organization for so many years. If this would happen, it would be the only season in his big league career he hasn't hit a triple. Popped up, playable on the infield. Totally out, Laurie in. Laurie at third makes the catch. 3 up, 3 down. Dickey needed just 7 pitches to set down the Rays in the 7th. Welcome back to Rogers Center. It's the bottom of the seventh. The Blue Jays have a 6-2 lead. New pitcher into the game. It's the fourth Rays pitcher of the night, Cesar Ramos, the left-hander.
Not overpowering. His fastball about 91 miles an hour, but he can pick up the strikeouts when he needs to. He throws strikes. He gets a lot of contact with his curveball. Fair slider. Good changeup, which might be his best pitch. It's the 2-2 record, so he pitches mostly at middle relief for Joe Maddon's team.
Hellickson started. Wesley Wright had a good inning, allowed a hit and struck out 3. Brandon Gomes got the only man he faced, and now Cesar Ramos trying to keep the Blue Jays in check. Jays have just 7 hits, but they have 6 runs. They've scored 3 unearned runs tonight as the Rays have kicked it around in the field. Reyes goes after the first pitch and fouls it back. Reyes up to 296, and you can bet he's got that 300 mark in his sights.
And we're pulling for him. Got off to a fantastic start offensively, 10 games, and then that was it. Ankle injury.
Slow breaking ball inside. It's a ball and a strike.
And when he came back, he was hot, stayed hot. It was really a spark plug for the Jays, and went through a little bit of a lull there, and the batting average just dipped under 300, trying to finish over 300.
He played a long time after coming back on the DL, less than 100%.
Yeah, I give him a lot of credit for coming back. I didn't think we would see Jose after he was injured in Kansas City. I've seen that injury before where you roll your ankle and you can be out the whole season. And he was not 100% when he came back.
1-2. He spoils a pitch upstairs, and he got it started and knew all he could do was hope to foul it off. The ankle certainly a big part of his game with his speed, and it robbed him of his quickness in the field, but now we've seen everything come back. One and two. Slow breaking ball. He dropped a hook in there and strikes out Reyes. 1 down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Rogers Center, right next to CN Tower. 1 down for Munenori Kawasaki. Had another productive night at the plate. Kawasaki had a sacrifice bunt in the 4-run 4th inning. He walked and scored in the 5th.
Lined out his first time up. Look at the on-base percentage, .331 with an average of .230. He works the count, takes his walks. He has almost as many walks as strikeouts.
For comparison's sake, the Blue Jays' team on-base percentage is .316. So Kawasaki is getting aboard at a better rate. Ball and a strike, 1 out. High strike. Looked like it might have been upstairs. Do you see a role for Kawasaki on this team next year?
Let me think. They will carry 13 pitchers.
You would think.
Maybe maybe 12, so that leaves probably 12 pitchers, 5 starters, 7 relievers. That leaves 13, 9 everyday players. That leaves 4 bench players. Backup catcher, backup outfielder.
2 spots. You got to figure that Maestro Sturris is going to be one of those
One of those guys. Do you carry 2 infielders or 2 outfielders?
You got to have 2 outfielders.
You know, he brings so much, but he didn't make the team this year. And for the Blue Jays, lucky he was in the organization to help him this year.
He strikes out. They throw to first to end the strikeout. 2 strikeouts for Ramos since coming into the ballgame.
But that's a tough call.
Yeah, it is a tough call. It's an unfair question to you because you don't know what the rest of the makeup's going to be. And you would think, just like this past season when they turned over 50% of their roster, there's going to be a dramatic turnover once again.
Yeah, possibly. One thing he has going for him is he can play shortstop.
Joe Madden is back out to the mound. Cesar Ramos strikes out the 2 batters he's faced. Remember, both teams have a full complement of relievers. And Joe Madden's going to use them all, trying to keep it a 4-run deficit. Roberto Hernandez into the game to face Brett Lawrie. Blue Jays up by 4. Alvarez has had. That's his 35th home run. He has driven in 99 now. Alvarez batting .230 but doing major damage.
Home runs, RBIs, and defense. Roberto Hernandez, 31 games this year, including 24 starts for the Tampa Bay Rays. That's why you see that record at 6-13. Sinker slider. Been doing it for years. Not a big strikeout guy.
Look out. But Lawrie is going to be attended to before he goes to first. Looked like it hit him in the mouth. George Poulos is out, and Dwayne Murphy is trying to stop Lawrie before he goes to first. You can see, appears to be bleeding on his lip or his mouth. Poulos, the head trainer, George Poulos, has had a lot to deal with this year, and you can see that Lawrie got hit in the face.
Well, it looks like it caught him in the lip. I was talking to George yesterday when we got back to Toronto from that road trip, and said, see you tomorrow, but I hope I don't see a lot of you. He goes, yeah, we've had way too many injuries. I said, I don't want to see you jogging on the field again. Fastball that gets away and starts riding up and in on Brett. You can see he tries to turn out of the way. He knows he's going to get hit. It just clips him. ricocheted off his shoulder, his face, and then hits the umpire.
Yeah, it appeared to hit him in the shoulder ever so slightly, and then hit him in the face and ends up hitting the umpire as well. Brett Lawrie is determined not to leave this game. You could see him kind of made up his mind before he ever went to first base that he wasn't coming out of the game. So Lawrie, hit by the pitch, is at first with 2 outs. Moises Sierra. Sierra's had a good night. He's 2 for 3. Had an RBI single in the 4th. He singled in the 5th. 2 outs. Hernandez delivers the strike. 13 RBI now for Sierra. There goes Lawrie, no throw from the catcher. Brett Lawrie steals second. His 9th stolen base of the season.
Boy, you saw that coming, didn't you? After you get hit like that, you want to take off. You want to get into scoring position. You want to score that run down, give an earned run to the pitcher who just hit you. He takes off. Picked a good pitch, too. A breaking ball, and really no chance for Lobaton to throw him out.
Ball on his strike. Yeah, fouls it back. We're in the bottom of the 7th. The Blue Jays have a 6-2 lead over Tampa Bay. There's a ball in the dirt blocked by Lobaton. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Blue Jays fell behind early. A pair of solo home runs in the 1st and 2nd. Zobrist hit a solo shot in the 1st. Delman Young followed that in the 2nd. It was 2-0 Tampa Bay. All the way into the 4th. And then Blue Jays took advantage of some sloppy defense by Tampa Bay. Scored 4 runs. Blue Jays scored 4 runs on 4 hits and 2 errors in the 4th and added 2 more runs on 2 hits in the 5th, and that's where we stand, 6-2 Jays.
Errors contributing to the Blue Jays offense tonight. 3 unearned runs against Jeremy Hellickson.
Downstairs, it's a full count. Anthony Gose is on deck. Gose has an RBI single tonight. Lawrie hit by the pitch, and then he stole second base. Ball 4. Sierra will take the walk. Moises has been on base 3 times, so Hernandez comes into the ball game, hits a batter, and walks a batter. And Joe Madden. We told you he's got a full complement of pitchers in his bullpen, and he's not going to wait around. It is getting very interesting for Joe Madden and the Rays. If the Rays lose tonight, they would fall to 90 and 70. If Cleveland wins and they have a big lead, they would be tied. When we come back, new pitcher into the game for the Rays. hit in the mouth, and he's very fortunate it wasn't more significant. It appears to be that he's got a couple of different lacerations in the top and bottom lip, and hopefully that's it, but it could have been much worse. Kelly Johnson, the former teammate of Brett Lawrie's, checking in on him, and Chuck Bellamo, new pitcher for the Rays, comes in. He begins his 4th stint with the Rays. He was recalled on Saturday, but this is his first appearance. He was up 4 different times with the Rays first game.
Talks about the 4 lefties that they have used extensively since they got right. There's also 2 more. This is one of them. Soft tossing lefty. He's held lefty batters to a 183 batting average. And Brett Lawrie, you know, whenever that happens, when you get hit like that, the first thing you do, you check to make sure you have all your teeth. You didn't get any knocked out or chipped or anything like that. It looks like he just has those cuts.
Now, if it was hockey, you wouldn't even pause to check your teeth. You just keep playing. Anthony Gose struck out against the left-hander Wesley Wright his last time up. Oh, 1-1. Now it's a ball on the strike. Bellamo spent some time last year with the Cubs. He appeared in 22 games. This is his first appearance in the big leagues this year. Ball on the strike. Evan Longoria to his left goes to second to Kelly Johnson to end the inning. Gose is retired. The Blue Jays stranded pair will go to the 8th. Blue Jays lead it 6-2. To take place right here at Rogers Center, January 10th through the 12th. Learn the Blue Jays way of baseball straight from the Toronto Blue Jays Baseball Academy. The coaches include Dwayne Ward, Sandy Alomar Sr., Brian McRae, Jesse Barfield, and our own Pat Tabler. The clinic cost is $150 and a limited amount of spots are available. Visit BlueJays.com/Baseball Academy for more information. The Toronto Blue Jays are proud supporters of amateur baseball across Canada. Mr. Tabler, you're going to be part of that clinic in January, and I know you're anxious to contribute. Reyes had that line drive pop out of his glove off the bat of the catcher, Jose Lobaton.
Yeah, sign up quickly to get into that camp. It should be a lot of fun in January.
Reyes is going to be charged with the air here. He kind of just assumed it was going to stick in his pocket, and it didn't. For Reyes, that's his 9th air of the season. That starts the top of the 8th here. Will Myers, the rookie, comes off the bench. He's going to bat for Sam Fold, number 9 hitter. Will Myers has played his way into the conversation about rookies of the year.
Oh boy, has he ever. He came up late. They kept him down in the minor leagues for almost 3 months. He has come up, and they put him right in the middle of this lineup into a pennant race, and he hasn't wilted at all.
Oftentimes with young hitters like Myers, managers will hold him out against a funky pitcher. Either a tough delivery, a nasty fastball, or a knuckleball, and that's what the case is. But Joe Madden can't afford to have this potent bat sit on the bench.
Yeah, it's getting late. 8th inning. Got to get him into the game somehow.
Myers, Jake Odorizzi, and Mike Montgomery, 3 young players, came from Kansas City in exchange for James Shields and Wade Davis and Elliott Johnson. And a good trade for both clubs.
Yeah. A trade that's going to go down that helped both Kansas City and Tampa Bay. Joe Madden gets what he wants, a young everyday player that they can control financially.
Off the end of the bat, Dickey looks at second and throws into center. Lobaton thinking about going to third, and Dickey commits the error. So an error by the shortstop now and an error by the pitcher, and Tampa Bay is knocking on the door again.
Yeah, it could be 2 outs, nobody on here, but Dickey picks it up and he throws and misses his spot. To me, it looked like he was going to try and throw that one to Reyes. What you're supposed to do is throw it right over the bag, and you get who's going to cover before you even throw the pitch towards home. That time it looked like he was in between throwing it to Goins or Reyes, and it'll go as an error.
There have been 5 errors in this game tonight, 3 by Tampa Bay and now 2 by the Blue Jays. There's a ball chopped to first. DeRosa steps on the bag. Joyce is retired. Second and third, 1 out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. What a season for Chris Davis. 53 home runs, 138 RBIs. And it's going to be a bittersweet home run for sure. They had loftier goals on their minds and a home run leader.
53 home runs and 130 plus RBIs.
138.
138. So he finishes with 140. That's got to be good enough for MVP, doesn't it?
Well, it's certainly going to be in the conversation, but I think they put a lot of weight on winning and losing.
Yeah.
And Miguel Cabrera certainly the other in the conversation. How about Josh Donaldson? Does he get into that conversation? Oakland A's third baseman.
It's a good call right there. I mean, he is quietly, we haven't heard that much about him over here on the East Coast, but he's been steady from day one.
Well, you know, I'm a baseball guy, and I look a little closer into things, so I've been keeping my eye on Josh Donaldson.
Well, what about Dustin Pedroia then? Yeah. Best player on the best team in the American League?
He is the best player, that's for sure, and he is the guy that makes him go. Ben Zobrist takes a walk. He's been on base 4 times. And that's it. John Gibbons popped out of the dugout. A couple of errors and a walk, and with 1 out, they're going to pull the plug on R.A. Dickey. The Blue Jays have a 6-2 lead. We are in the 8th. Just 1 out. Matt Joyce hit a grounder to the first baseman. Ben Zobrist then walked. The bases are loaded. James Loney, the first baseman, will bat against Sergio Santos, who's been lights out lately. Santos against Loney when we come back. errors this inning certainly contributing to his departure. He threw a ball away himself into center field after Reyes committed the error to start the inning. And then the one-out walk, and Dickey is out of the game, turns things over to Sergio Santos. And lately it's been in great hands when you put the ball in Santos' hands.
If you're going to turn the ball over late in the game with the tying run at the plate like the Rays have right here, this is the guy you want. He has been outstanding. Look at the numbers. Fabulous.
James Loney bats with the bases loaded, and the Rays are trying to come back late in this game. They trail by 4. On the ground, Goins, Reyes at second, first base to Rosa. One pitch, Santos gets the double play. The middle of the diamond has been terrific. R.A. Dickey in line for the win. Blue Jays have a 6-2 lead. It's time now for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn in the Blackberry Broadcast Studio. The pinch hitter, Will Myers, comes into the ballgame. He'll play in right field. David DeJesus, who started out in left, will move to center field. Sam Gould was the center fielder. He was lifted for the pinch hitter, Myers. So we're in the bottom of the 8th. Blue Jays with a 6-2 lead, trying to rein on the Tampa Bay Rays parade. Tampa Bay, if they should lose this game, would fall to 90-70. Cleveland currently winning their ball game,
Winning big, too.
7-0, bottom of the 4th. They would move to 70-90. The Texas Rangers have taken a 3-1 lead over the Angels. That would move them to 89-71. They'd be a half game back, both of Tampa Bay and Cleveland. Could get interesting. Mark DeRosa drives it high and deep to right. Myers back just in front of the warning track. He makes the catch. 1 down. Drive of the game is brought to you by the 2014 Honda Odyssey, the world's first minivan with a built-in vacuum. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
It's not very often where we have the drive of the game as a ground ball, but that's exactly what this is. Ground ball right back through the middle. It's our drive of the game because the ball gets under the glove of Sam Fold, goes all the way to the wall in center field, and he's driving home Ryan Goins and out at the plate. Mom and Dad don't like it, but the Blue Jays certainly did as they scored 4.
Ryan's parents, Robert and Melissa, here at the ballpark tonight. I got a chance to see that firsthand, and you can bet they were pulling for him as they headed for home. But he ends up with a single and an RBI. Ryan is now 1 for 3 tonight. 257. That's his batting average for the season. Drives this ball toward the alley. That's going to get down and go all the way to the wall. He's headed for second. DeJesus gets the ball back into the cutoff man, and Ryan Goins putting on a show for his parents. His 5th double of the season makes him 2 for 4 tonight.
Saying that's just how I taught him to hit those lefties. Stay on them and hit the ball the other way. You know, he is starting to make some adjustments. He was out here again early, taking some extra batting practice about 3 o'clock. Stayed on that high fastball that time and ripped it up the gap.
Josh Tolle has 1 for 3 tonight. Off the plate inside. Two and 0. Blue Jays have come up with some big hits tonight. They're 5 for 9 with runners in scoring position. In their previous 2 games in Baltimore, they were 5 for 31. Had many opportunities in Baltimore to cash in. They just couldn't come up with a big hit.
They got guys on left and right, and to the Orioles' credit, they made pitches. Blue Jays left 7 on last night, 14 the night before, and 8 more in game 1 of that series.
Three and 0, 1 out. Ryan Goins at second. Ball 4. Tolle's aboard. Manaville walks his first batter since coming into the ball game. And Joe Madden has beat a path to the mound tonight. New pitcher will come into the ball game. It'll be Josh Dickey, the right-hander. Dickey will be the 6th pitcher to work for the Rays tonight. Joe Madden trying to save some runs. First of the season in that ball game. Reyes also drove in a run, his 78th, as the Rangers are trying to make it tough on the Indians and the Rays. Josh Dickey into the ball game, his 19th appearance. He is the 6th, check that, 7th reliever to work tonight. 7th pitcher to work, 6th reliever.
Yeah, and the 4th in the last inning, and the 3rd. Dickey's got a good arm. It's his fourth stint with the Rays this year. Fastball, breaking ball. He's got pretty decent control, a 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. He's got a good arm.
Kevin Pillar has gone 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. He struck out his last time up against Brandon Gomes, the only batter Gomes faced. That closed out the 6th inning. 2 on, just 1 out. You can bet they're going to use a breaking ball to Pillar here.
Yeah, Gomes got him back in that 6th inning. 3 of them all outside the strike zone.
Toley at first, Goins at second. Blue Jays with a 6-2 lead. Fly ball to center. DeJesus is back. He'll make the catch. 2 down. Runners hold their ground. So now the Blue Jays will turn the lineup over. 2 on, 2 outs for Jose Reyes, as he has gone 1 for 3 with a walk tonight. He scored a pair of runs.
Boy, that 5th at bat for that leadoff hitter comes up a lot. That's why you want an offensive player with the skill set of Jose Reyes in your leadoff spot. For the longest time this year, we saw Jose Bautista hit second for the Blue Jays. Just trying to generate some offense.
John Gibbons had to do a lot of juggling of the lineups with the injuries, and Reyes out. Melky Cabrera was unproductive and then succumbed to season-ending surgery.
Yeah,
and just been a mix and match lineup ever since.
Those two, Reyes and Cabrera, were supposed to bat 1-2 all season long, with then Bautista and Encarnacion following them, driving them in. I see Reyes score 100, Melky Cabrera get all his hits. Didn't work out, so they had to make some changes.
Yeah, and it's been mix and match ever since. With Reyes out after just 2 weeks of the season, and then Laurie was out to start the season, and they never really played an awful lot together until later on in the year. Just strike. It's 2-1. Got a pitch right up in his eyes, and he had a big swing, but fouled it back.
He hits from a wide stance, and you say, okay, I can get the ball by him, but he's so quick. And a high fastball, you see him talking to himself, saying, I should have hit that one. That was the one I should have got. But he's so fast. He's got great hands. His hand-eye coordination is outstanding.
2-2, 2 outs. Bounced in the dirt. That one gets away from Lobaton. We've been singing his praises all night long about blocking balls in the dirt. That one was about 2 feet in front of home plate. Not much he could do on that.
Yeah, just get something, some part of your body on that baseball, and he just couldn't come up with it. It looked like a split. You can see the rotation way out in front, sliding over. Almost got enough of that ball to keep it in front of him.
The Rays are trying to go to the postseason for the first time since 2011. They've won 90 games in 5 straight seasons. Full count, 2 outs. Runners now at second and third. Reyes stays alive. Tampa Bay lost the World Series in 2008, 4-1 to the Phillies. Last time they went into the division series, Texas beat them 3-1. That was in 2011. And they're not home free yet.
No. 2 out of 3. That's what they're thinking about right here in this series. They win 2 out of 3, they get to host.
Broken bat. Second baseman Kelly Johnson waits on it. The inning is over. Luque gets out of it. The Blue Jays leave a pair. We'll go to the 9th. Tampa Bay needs a rally to stay alive. 6-2, and they have a tough customer in Sergio Santos. Here in the top of the 9th inning. Brett Laurie has been taken out of the ball game. Laurie was hit by a pitch in the 7th. Langerhans takes over in Laurie's spot in the lineup. He'll move to first base. With that pushes the first baseman, Mark DeRosa, over to third. So Brett Laurie is out of the game. Back in the 7th inning, facing Roberto Hernandez.
Yeah, fastball up and in. It looks like it hits right in the mouth. And then ricochets off and hits the umpire, and right away Brett gets up over to first base. You can see the blood coming from his lip. We'll have to take a look at that and see if he might need a stitch or two right there. But he was bleeding, stayed in the ball game.
Sergio Santos came in through one pitch, got a double play to end the 8th. Evan Longoria will lead things off for Tampa Bay. He's late on the fastball. Santos, this is the best we've seen him since he's been in a Blue Jay uniform.
And he admits that too. He says it's the best I have felt. He had a couple of surgeries since he has been with the Blue Jays organization. He says he feels free and easy with his fastball. It feels like he can command all of his pitches. And his fastball is exploding, and he's throwing it in a good spot.
Here's the 1-1 pitch, lined into center field, goes on the move, and he's able to take it on the short hop. Leadoff single for Evan Longoria. Now for a preview of what's coming up on Connected. Here's Ken Reed and Ivanka Osmak. Thank you, Ken, and that'll all come up right after this ball game on Connected with Ken Reed and Ivanka Osmak. So Longoria's aboard, leadoff single. David DeJesus.
You know, to be a good hitter, all you had to do was watch that Longoria back. Show you. First pitch did what? Threw it right by him. And then by the third pitch, he had the timing down, and he turned that fastball around, right back through the middle. Man.
That's all you got to do, just watch him?
Just watch him. That's all you have to do. And go do what he does.
I watched George Brett for years. It didn't help me.
It didn't? You didn't learn anything.
Oh, I learned that I couldn't hit. Casey Jansen loosening up for the Blue Jays. David DeJesus, couple of ground outs on a strikeout. Pops this one up. DeRosa gives it a look, but it's well back out of play. $27,288 here for the final Friday night game of the season. A couple of day games tomorrow afternoon, 1:07. Sunday, the season finale at 2 starts at 1:07. It is Fan Appreciation Weekend, so make sure you come on down and enjoy it.
Yeah, you got to come down. They're giving away prizes all weekend long. I believe they're giving away a car on Sunday.
The Jesus strikes out. One down. One of the real bright spots in an otherwise disappointing season has been the performance of the bullpen. And you look at the bullpen in 2013, it has been strong. The ERA for the season, Jeremy Jeffress, of course, with limited action, but a very good ERA. Sergio Santos, he too hasn't been here for the full season. But they're power arms, and that's always important when you look at the performance of your bullpen. They can come in and get outs without any contact. And that's huge when you play in the American League East because there are so many patient, selective hitters in the East. You need strikeouts.
Yeah, and you need strike throwers. Blue Jays had 2 All-Stars out of their bullpen this year.
Delman Young is in the hole 0-2. Young homered his 11th home run of the season, his 3rd with Tampa Bay. Start out the season with the Philadelphia Phillies. 0-2, 1 out. Back-to-back strikeouts after the Longoria single.
And he is not going to throw him a fastball. 3 sliders, 3 breaking balls in a row does the trick to get Delman Young. It's tight. That's a tight breaking ball. Tough to pick up if you're the hitter.
Fly ball hit hard to center. Goes back. It is over his glove and off the wall. Longoria is going to come in to score. A ball is hit hard to center by Kelly Johnson, and he drives in Longoria from first. Tampa Bay, with a run here in the 9th, has made it 6-3.
You can see where Gose is playing. He's playing him to pull. He goes back. It looks like he has a shot at it, but it is just out of his reach. Longoria is going to score. And that breaks a streak for Sergio Santos. Runs given up just out of the reach of Anthony Gose. He's been throwing the ball really well. You can see how upset he is because he had been dealing.
Tampa Bay, the long delay is for Luke Scott. Come off the bench. Scott will come on to pinch hit in this situation for the catcher, Jose Lobaton. Lobaton had gone over 3. Luke Scott will come off the bench and pinch hit to try to keep the hopes alive for the Rays. That run that Santos has been charged with is the first run since August 13th that he's allowed. Quite a run he was on, and he has done a terrific job, and obviously disappointed that he's given up a run here.
Yeah. Still in line for the save. Came on last inning with the tying run on deck. Bases loaded.
Coming into this game, he pitched a total of 13 innings, allowed 2 hits and no runs in 17 appearances. Luke Scott comes off the bench and takes a big swing. 2 outs. Tampa Bay had a 2-0 lead. They lost the lead with a Blue Jays 4-run fourth inning. Ball on a strike.
With a little cut action. Did you see that on the way towards home plate? That's why Luke Scott just couldn't pull the trigger. He's got some power. 9 home runs and 40 RBIs.
27,288 in attendance on their feet. Cut on and miss. The Blue Jays will win it. Santos strikes out the side, gives up a couple of hits and a run. But the Rays lose the opener of the 3-game series, 6-3 to the Blue Jays.
R.A. Dickey will pick up the W. He gave up a home run in the first, a home run in the second, then settled down. Pitched deep into the ball game, into the 8th inning. Sergio Santos, outstanding tonight to pick up the save. He had 3 strikeouts. John Gibbons gets a win and halts the momentum of the Tampa Bay Rays.
Snaps their 7-game winning streak. We'll be right back here tomorrow, 1 o'clock start. Chris Archer against J.A. Happ. Stay tuned, connected, coming around. Thanks for watching.